Let's move on to Watch This, bitches.
Sure.
I watched... Oh, first of all, you're up to date on Titans, I know.
I am as up to date as you. There's only one episode left this season.
It's going to be a busy episode, probably.
I mean, they're going to have to end it on a cliffhanger. There's
Right.
no way they're going to be able to tie all those loops in 1 hour.
Ship, this show is weird enough for you.
It is bananas. It's like the first season, it's like they learned what was successful about the first season, saw what was successful in Doom Patrol, and said, how do we fit some of this Doom Patrol weirdness into Titans without making it too much like Doom Patrol?
Yeah. Yep. They did it. They were successful.
And yeah, I think they were too. It's just bananas. You know, if you ever wanted I don't want to spoil it, but when they were poking around in redacted character's brain, I was like, this is different.
Right. Yeah, that whole thing was just weird.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
This is a DC
DC Universe.
Universe. I couldn't even
Exclusive.
remember what they called their thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably not going to watch that then.
No, you won't. I will say this. The season 1 set I've seen as low as $15. So if you ever see like season 1 and season 2 for like $15 a pop,
Right.
that's probably worth it.
The problem is if you buy the first season, it's a major cliffhanger.
Yes.
And it doesn't really get resolved. It doesn't get resolved to the first episode of the next season. So you're going to be pretty frustrated.
Which is something they did on purpose. For those who said this to you earlier this week when we were talking about it, they filmed what was episode 1 of season 2 was filmed as the season finale of season 1.
Yeah.
And they held it over.
It's probably a good idea.
It's not a terrible
It started
idea.
the season off pretty well. I
Yes,
thought.
and then it kind of wrapped things up to move on. Although I will say this much, Hawk and Dove are terrible.
Yeah, those are the two worst. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of bad ones. What about Robin?
Yeah.
Somehow the show works despite of itself. It's like despite itself. There's a lot of like sort of bad lines and weird characters, but
there's definitely some weird characters. You know,
the action is good. The action is always very strong.
I think Bruce Wayne's a little too old.
Yeah, and frail looking.
Yeah, because although he just beat the crap out of Robin,
I know, but he looks frail.
He does look a little frail.
It's not the guy's fault. I mean,
no, but I think they went a little too old, especially since Jason Todd's there, and he's still Jason Todd. Jason Todd is Robin, but Jason Todd's supposed to die, and there's still supposed to be another Robin. But Batman in this is too old to have a third Robin,
right?
And that's where they kind of lose me.
Anyway, it's good. It's good.
Yes, but still good.
Still good, even though it's bad.
Well, I have Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans checked out from the library right now.
That's
good, tell me
too.
how that is.
It's good. I saw it.
I did not.
It's funny.
Okay. Well,
I saw this movie Bikram on Netflix. It's the documentary about Bikram, the Bikram Yoga guy.
Hot yoga?
Yes. Do you know the story about this guy?
Nope, but I know what Bikram Yoga is.
Yeah. So it's the guy. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when it was in the news, so I'm not considering this a spoiler. But the Bikram, the head of Bikram Yoga, was a rape, pretty much committed sexual assault and rape. He had like this huge cult-like business going. Where he claimed to invent this style of yoga that would heal you. Being in a hot room was part of it, but there was a certain specific yoga positions that you did in a specific order, and it was supposed to be amazing if you could do it. And sometimes people would pass out because it was so strenuous and so hot, but people became addicted to it. And then he would do these seminars where if you wanted to open up your own Bikram yoga studio, you would pay like $10,000 and do this teacher training thing. And hundreds of people would show up for them every time he would do it. So he was making so much money. And he lived this very opulent lifestyle, but he was this weird look. If you Google Bikram Yoga, you'll probably see a picture of him in this black Speedo, which he wore when he was young and in like an amazing ripped shape, but continued to wear as he got older and was not look pretty soft. It's pretty interesting movie. It's called Bikram. It'll probably, if you pop up Netflix right now, that's what's going to pop up in your face on the splash screen. They're promoting it pretty heavily. What else we got?
Is anyone watching The World According to Jeff Goldblum?
I watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't watched the third yet.
I'm up to date on that one. That's a good show. It's cute. For those who don't know, it's Jeff Goldblum, and it's on Disney Plus. And each week he talks about a topic that's random, but still interesting. Like he did a whole episode on ice cream, and he did an episode on sneakers, and he's done an episode on tattoos. None of those things are related, but he's done episodes on all 3 of those things.
People just enjoy watching him do anything.
Yes. It actually led to a debate with my wife where she thinks Jeff Goldblum is better looking now than he was in the 90s.
What do you think, Wombat?
I think she's crazy.
Some people like that look, I think.
I guess so.
You like the Earth Girls Are Easy Goldblum?
No, that's 80s Goldblum.
Oh, well. Do you think he looked better in the 90s than the 80s?
Yes, he definitely looks better. I think Jurassic Park, Independence Day, and the movie that just happened to be on that started the debate was 9 Months, which he's in, which is a terrible movie,
Oy.
but he's in it. And so
Jurassic Park is probably peak Goldblum.
That might be peak Goldblum. There's the shirtless
Brindlefly?
Brindlefly's 80s Goldblum. Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's crazy how much Goldblum there is.
I may watch it. I haven't watched anything else except for all the Mandalorian episodes,
Which are also good.
which are also fine.
You can admit that it's good, Chief.
It's fine.
It's good.
I talk to the screen a lot and ask why things are happening that don't seem to.
That's more than the characters are saying to the screen most of the time.
Which is, a lot of the dialogue in the modern Star Wars movies are bad, so it's probably a good strategy just to not have a lot of dialogue.
To have just have 10 minutes without any dialogue.
It's a numbers game.
So here's my question about the Mandalorian.
Mando?
Don't spoil anything though.
No spoilers.
It's not spoilery at all.
Right.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with actually the show. So for those who,
Okay.
Go
Perfect.
yes, but basically my question is, does it bother you or do you think about Boba Fett while watching The Mandalorian?
I do not.
Like, is that in the back of your head?
Sure. Why wouldn't it be?
I don't, because that Cheapy said it isn't.
Well, it's in the back of my head. Hey, all these guys look like Boba Fett. But the problem is Boba Fett wasn't exactly some complex, fleshed out character.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you waiting for there to be a connection? Does there ever need to be a connection?
No, I don't give a shit if they. No, definitely not.
That's what I agree.
He could have already been in there. It doesn't matter.
That's exactly. Just interesting. I just find that interesting.
How does what happens like when he has to sneeze?
I still don't know how he eats.
Eating? Maybe he drinks all the food?
I don't know.
I can see some sort of future Star Wars food.
Rectal.
Oh. I said sneeze and now I sneezed. See, if I was Mando, I would have this phlegm all over my my mask.
Maybe Mandalorians don't sneeze. Did you ever think of that?
Aren't they just human or no? Are they a race?
I don't know. Maybe some are and some aren't. You don't know that.
I don't.
Django took his mask off all the time, though.
Yeah, well, Django isn't a real Mandalorian. Is that what
He's
we're
a sellout.
He was a sucky one.
He's a sellout-alorian.
I like that.
He was second best in his class. He's a salute-alorian. Mando is the Valalorian.
Tough.
No.
Quit while you're ahead. The show's fine. Mandalorian is fine. It's not like some. I don't like the end of episode 3. I was like, why is this happening? Why is any of this happening?
The one thing about episode 3 is episode 3 suffers a little bit of Netflix disease where they're going to get to a specific point, but it takes them a long time to get there.
Right. And then you don't know why that happened once they got there.
As I mentioned on Twitter, again, not really a spoiler, 2 doors to get into a building. like 350 to get out.
You didn't see all those other doors.
Yeah. It's like he walks in,
Right.
but to get out of it,
Look, they only have 30 minutes, Matt. They got to keep the show moving.
lots of doors.
It's fine.
Mm.
They need like a really super obese Mandalorian.
The Fatalorian?
Yeah, and he wears like box armor.
Tubalorian.
Looks like a refrigerator.
Frigilorian?
Stop it.